It's Wednesday the 10th of June and we're here again to have a look at the latest developments on the pitch. As you can see, it's looking absolutely fantastic. A lot thicker than last year, it seems as though the grass has grown, so everybody's really pleased with it. Quick catch up with Secretary James Tedford this afternoon. James, we've just been having a look at the pitch we've had with the Walkabout and it's looking absolutely fantastic, isn't it? Are you happy with it this year?
I won't say too much about it because I was delighted last season, and then with the problems, the advice from PSD, our pitch consultants, are don't comment on it until January and February. And if it's still in good condition, then we can be happy with it.
It looks good though, doesn't it? And it's certainly a lot flatter than we used to have, so yeah. Great to see. Okay. We've launched a membership scheme this week, James, and I know we've had a few queries in. Just give us a little bit of background to why we've gone with the membership scheme first of all.
Okay, the membership scheme was partly born out of the media team's good work in showing old matches. So a lot of fans had asked the club, how can we continue to support the club during this period, and in particular the off-season. So that was one reason for it. The other reason was the club prefers monthly payments in terms of all revenue income. When I first joined the club in 2018, we had pretty much not ran out of money, but all the money that came in the summer, it wasn't ready. It had gone by the time we'd got to Christmas and we needed share increases to continue on. By changing pretty much every single board around the club and everything we do commercially onto a monthly revenue stream, more local businesses are now signing up because they're seeing a benefit as opposed to paying in one lump sum. They can pay slightly more but over the period. So in general, the majority of the boards we have at the ground are now increased by 100% in terms of the revenue because we are spreading it over the months, and that's the same with the membership scheme. As opposed to having season ticket money in one lump sum and then the club budgeting over the year and spreading it, the membership scheme is continued revenue, and it's also revenue because it's over 12 months of the 2 months of the season where we aren't playing football.
Yeah, good. Now, you went out to supporters with a survey, didn't you? I think it was pretty conclusive, the outcome.
Quite surprised that there was 332 respondents to the survey. 80% of them were in favour of changing their season ticket for a membership. Just under 70% of the respondents were actually season ticket holders, and 60% went for £20 per month for the adult, and the concession was 70%, so it was overwhelming, and pretty much what they asked for is what we believe is what we've responded with.
Good, yeah. I think it's important to stress that people can still buy a season ticket up front, but we're not doing that until the season's
Yes, we don't know what season 2021 is going to look like. It very well may be a case that it's less games, but we have based the prices on 21 games. If it's announced that we are playing 21 games, even though it may be a condensed season, then those tickets will go on sale. Disappointing that we can't continue with the monthly instalments, but the gap between the start of the season, which we've alluded to on the website, and the start date and the start of the season may be too short to go with an instalment programme. But we do envisage that will return for next season.
Good, okay. A couple of queries we've had in then. People are saying, why can't we pay up front for a membership?
Okay. We don't want to have too many split models. It was a case of monthly for the membership and upfront for the season ticket. If we start accepting payments upfront, then we're not getting that revenue that we spoke about. And this is also about helping the fans at a time where some are on furlough, they're not receiving as much of their wages. So some of them wanted to be able to pay a monthly subscription, and this allows that to happen. So we don't want everybody jumping on paying up front like they would do with the season tickets. So it's just 2 models that we can work with. We will take on board, and maybe next season it's something that we would introduce, but right now it's about trying to keep it simple.
Yeah, a couple of people have had a few problems with paying monthly. I think it does explain it on the website, but can you expand a little bit what's happening there?
Initially you'll pay £20 or £15, whatever the category you're going for, and that will pay for this current month. Kaizen will contact every single person by email, and they'll ask them, similar to what you would do for your instalments on the season ticket, they'll ask them for direct debit details, and then that's how that will go moving forward.
Yeah, and any reasons for the cut-off on the 5th of August?
So again, we sent this, it wasn't just the membership scheme, both the survey and the decision wasn't just Ian and I or the board deciding this is going to go. We sent it around, as you know, to prominent volunteers, all the staff at the club. There was a long consultation period. And one of the things we looked at was, if you're purchasing it this month, it's £20. Next month it's £40. The month after it's £60. We don't want that to then go £80, £100, £120. You may as well then just pay in one go. So again, it's trying to differentiate between the membership scheme and the season tickets.
Yeah, okay. Student discounts?
Yes, although it wasn't probably explained overly well on the website, that was my fault because I set the comms up.
Well, excuse you.
Yeah, thank you. It's part of a concession. We will, depending how many we get, maybe ask for ID in terms of student for the memberships, but a student can purchase a concession.
Yeah, good. Okay. Now, there's a few comments about the price increase, but I think you've got an explanation looking back over the last few years how this has come about.
Yes, so I'm going to look at my facts and figures again. The biggest thing we have when people look at season tickets is they latch on to season 18-19. If you compare seasons 18-19 tickets compared to 2021, which we've launched, there's a 40% increase. The club at the time and those in charge had a reason for dropping the price so low, but it was significantly low. If you go back to season 17-18 and the prices now, the increase is only 8% across all categories. When you look at the facilities we had in 17-18 compared to now, all the outside toilets, the new bar, the new main stand, the grandstand bar, and although people will talk about the toilets are slightly archaic inside, but in the next 2 weeks they will be starting. Good. And the inside toilets will now be brought up to date. Albeit the pitch has been done twice, but it's also a brand new pitch. So that increase of 8% in return for the facilities that I think that we are providing, as well as the football, I think it is value for money. But if you continue to latch on to 18-19 prices, then it's always going to look like a massive hike.
Yeah, I think at the time people said, oh, they're far too low, so we have suffered in effect, haven't we, by the price increase had to come at some point.
When we come up with the prices, we don't just make a number up, we look relatively at other clubs in the area and other clubs in the league, and I think for the facilities and what we get and offer for it in terms of the matches at the National League level, I think it's value for money.
Okay. The toilets have been done and look absolutely fantastic, as we've seen. Are there further improvements to come to toilets? You say inside?
Yeah. So the 22nd of June we've got earmarked for them to start. The ones in the 1881 bar will be a complete refurb, and the hospitality side are of a reasonable standard just now, so they'll receive a small makeover. Yeah.
Good. Is there anything else I think we're going to speak to Ian in a few minutes about team details, because we've been a bit scarce on those. I think Ian's going to give us a little update on those. Anything else that's going on that you'd like to raise?
No, just try to check my notes that I've got. I think we've covered everything for this time.
Brilliant. Thanks, James.
Thank you.
Okay, we've got two for the price of one today, as we now have Ian Kyle to give us a little update on the players. Now, Ian, the main question I keep getting coming through to me is what's happening with all the players and where we're up to. I know there's reasons why we haven't been able to say things because of furlough and everything, but can you give us a quick update?
Yeah, sure. It's obviously been extremely difficult to prepare a retained list as such because of players on furlough. Liam's on furlough. I think the majority of clubs that have come out with a retained list are probably those clubs that didn't put their players onto furlough in the first place, but let everyone go. It would be very unfair of us to publish a retained list up till this point when there are still conversations that need to be had and are to be had with players who again are on furlough. We have obviously signed up till the end of this season the large majority of the squad anyway. A lot of the issue surrounds the going from full-time to part-time. The majority of the squad have taken that on board. I think everyone knows now who has signed up to this point. We've got obviously Jack Doyle, we've got Morgs, Marcus Woods, Connor Woods, Russell Benjamin, Jack Sampson, George Newell. If we've missed anyone out, I'll get told off. We've obviously got Marcus Carver, Matt Challoner, and now Mo Ali. That leaves 2 or 3 players who we are still to have formal discussions with. One of which is Dean Winnard. Dean has indicated to us that he would like to stay. We want him to stay. I think his experience would be great in the team that we're building. So that's a conversation we need to have. There are 1 or 2 players who obviously have expressed to us that they would prefer to stay full time, and again there are more conversations that we need to have, but it's no surprise kind of they will be the Ryan Astles and Dan Hamfords. I imagine the issue is more teams that they might or might not have interest in them are themselves furloughed. So again, everything comes to a halt, and that's very much where we are at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's the big problem, isn't it? Because different teams are in different situations at the moment. So you might be approaching one area who can't let you talk to them about players, and other areas are letting players go.
All we can do is concentrate on ourselves and where we're at. I think at the moment we're up to about 14. That's including Tony McMillan, who will be coming in as a kind of goalkeeping coach and number 2. As you say, that there are other teams who've let all their players go. There are other teams who are on furlough. It's a difficult environment to be in at the moment. And as I say, we're quite clear where we are. We're quite clear where we want to be. We've got 14 or so players now signed up. We've got another 4 or 5 in mind who, we're confident that furlough allowing, we're going to be able to get them signed up quite soon. We're happy where we're at.
So we should be good to go whenever it kicks off again.
Very much so.
Good.
I think we're aiming to have everything in place early doors, as though the season was to start on time. The players that we are signing up at the moment are all signing contracts which are very much based on starting as and when the season starts, which is permitted by the FA. We've used all the appropriate clauses that they've suggested to us. Whenever we are told the season can start, we'll be ready and willing to go.
Okay, can I ask an impossible question now, Ian?
Try.
National League meetings, due to hear something tomorrow, aren't we? Hopefully.
And last week and the week before, the week before that. The meeting tomorrow, I understand, is geared towards whether we have playoffs or not. I don't see how there can be any potential of that taking place. Let's say you had York against Chester, with neither York nor Chester having a pitch that's ready, with players having been released. That's before we even get into the potential cost of having to get all your players tested before any playoff game, which is going to cost a club at this level kind of in the region of £60,000. It's to me not a viable option.
Yeah, and playing games behind closed doors at this level, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? You couldn't do it.
It's not what football is about at this level. Maybe higher up the pyramid, then it's neither here nor there because you've got all the television and other income. People watch football at this level because it's what football's about, is the fans, the spectators, the atmosphere. There's no point without that.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Ian.